Y'all, it's your boy Easy, and I am wanting to try something new with this channel by posting some videos about actual news that's happening in the toy world. So I figured what better time to do it than the present, where Hasbro's dropped some new information about Marvel Legends. So let's take a look. All right, so Marvel Legends did a live stream earlier this week where they talked about some Secret Wars figures and some other stuff that they're going to be putting out. And I don't know, thought it'd be fun to go through it and talk about it. So let's start with the Secret Wars stuff. And I'm getting all of this information and all of these images from one of my favorite toy news websites, toyarc.com. They're an excellent resource if you haven't ever heard of them. And they just have a plethora of information and pictures, and they're just legit. And I've followed them and used them for years. So yeah, that's what you're seeing right now on the screen, essentially. So yeah. So let's talk about my least favorite figure, the composite Spider-Man, where the alien costume has taken over him. I think that's cool, and I'm glad it exists. I don't need this, but it is cool, and it's kind of a pivotal thing for the whole Secret Wars, where the black suit envelops Spider-Man, and that's where we get the symbiote costume from back in the day. And so that's really cool, but that's just not typically my thing. I'm not a big fan of figures in transition, if that makes any sense. I'm okay with like when the head is doing it, like on Venom or Carnage or whatever. That's cool, but I don't want that to be the only head. And so, yeah, not gonna. Usually, I'm a pretty big Spider-Man guy, and I buy a lot of them. But this is definitely a pass for me. But if it's your thing, that's awesome. Now moving on to one that is definitely a buy for me, which is Marvel's Magic. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ileana Rasputin, and yeah, I love the New Mutants and all that stuff, and that look is really cool. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna be picking this one up because, I mean, she just looks awesome, and she comes with the her I forget what her sword is, the Soul Saber or something like that. Regardless, she comes with the cool sword with the cool effect, and yeah, these promo shots are just great. And I absolutely love her bangs. Like, I'm super jealous of her bangs. Like, I'm not that brave to do that, but I'm glad that she was, and she's representing for, the gangsters all across the world that, you know, do those bangs. So, yeah, definitely going to pick up Magic. Up next is Falcon. I like Falcon a lot. I think I might already have a figure of him in this costume. I could be mistaken. But as I've gotten, I don't know, just as I've gotten older, I guess maybe, I just have a hard time with figures with wings, especially if they're attached to their arms. Now, what's cool is that he comes with the kind right here that can kind of just be folded down. That's awesome. But still, I don't know. I just, there's just something about it. Now you don't have to have him with the wings and stuff, but I don't know. I'm not big on picking up a lot of Avengers figures just because I typically stick to X-Men and Spider-Man, and then an occasional thing here and there. Not, well, literal actual thing, yes, but also just random characters. Oh my gosh, for a second there I thought his shoes were like sponsored by McDonald's. That's wild. Oh my goodness, but are they actually talons? Are they actually like birds' feet? That's I'm loving it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Probably still not going to get it, but love those shoes. That's too good. Up next is Daredevil, and I'm a pretty big Daredevil fan. I love this suit, and I've got a few Daredevils that I'm pretty happy with. So I'm not really sure if I'm gonna pick this up or not. However, the big thing that's got me wanting to buy this figure is the lenticular shield thing. Like, I don't know if I'm the only one that is like really obsessed with these things. I'm joking. I'm not. They're cool, and I like that they exist, and it's a throwback, and I get it. It's fun. But no, the real thing that has me wanting to pick this up is his sonar effect. That just looks really cool. And I don't know, maybe it's just in these promo shots that it's going to look cool. Maybe it won't look cool in real life. I don't know. But I just think that's neat. And it's triggering the same thing for me, like whenever Michelangelo has his nunchuck spinning, like that effect. I don't know. It's just also on almost the same level of wired cape. And so, yeah, still on the fence about this one, but if I find it, especially on clearance, I'll probably pick it up. But I don't know. I have to go back and look at some of my older Daredevil figures and see if this one outdoes them. And then I might have to do a swap, but who knows? Up next is Constrictor. I really like this character. I think he looks cool. I don't know much about him, but I do like a tentacled type character like Omega Red. And so I really dig this outfit for him. I think we have a Constrictor already that's just like this, unless this is a new mold that I don't know about. But I think the tentacles are different. And I want to say the costume might be slightly different. And if that's the case, this might be a similar thing with Daredevil that I might have to switch him out and see. But I believe that we did get one. I tried to look, but I couldn't see him in the collection. He's too far back there. But still, really dig what they're doing with this figure. And I wish the arms were bendy. That would be fantastic. Or the tentacles were bendy. But, it's not that big of a deal with those because, like Omega Reds, you can kind of wrap them around figures already the way they are. And they're pliable enough to work. So that's really cool. And I just like how they glow. I think that's really neat. Like they don't literally glow, but like they have like this like fluorescence to them, and that's really awesome. And I don't know, something about the color scheme is just really doing it for me. So I might have to pick up Constrictor, but we'll see. Up next is Absorbing Man. I've seen a few people talk about how they're disappointed in this figure because he's not actually absorbing anything except for maybe the air around him because there's nothing changing on his body. And so, yeah, I think they kind of messed up here. They probably should have given him a different head or like a different arm or something, just something real simple to switch out. But I don't know. There's still something about this character that's always like had a special place for me for some reason. I don't really have any significant attachment to him, but I just think he's kind of neat, I guess. But I don't know. We have a Build-A-Figure, if I'm not mistaken, of this character. And I think that a lot of people are going to pass on this because they have him. But if you don't, this is cool. But like, he's just not doing his thing. He's not absorbing. He ain't, it's not absorbing time with this guy. Whatever the kids say. I don't know. All right, moving on to Onslaught. So the X-Men old school throwback. What are they calling this? They call this something specific, don't they? The X-Men classic carded figures are really cool, and I like them a lot, and I'm glad that they're doing them. And Onslaught was one of my favorite characters back in the day because he just looks cool. But I already got him as a Build-A-Figure, so I'm going to pass on this. But if you didn't have him, like, that's really neat. So that's cool for those of you who need him. But, like, for me, like, this is going to be a pass. But still, that's awesome. And he looks cool on that card, though. I do have to say. So, like, that is tempting, but already got him. Don't need him. All right. So now we're out of the Secret Wars and on to the Street Wars, I guess, for lack of a better term, where you've got Muse and Bullseye. And yeah, these look awesome. I really dig this. I wasn't familiar with Muse until I saw Daredevil Born Again, and that was I like that show, but I like this costume and this suit an awful lot. I think this looks really cool, and it does have a little bit of the G.I. Joe Classified like tactical realism that usually I try to avoid with my collection, that I don't care for. Not that I don't care for it, but that like with my Marvel comic characters, I prefer them to look more comic usually. And this probably is how he looks in the comics, don't get me wrong, but there's still is triggering that thing where I'm like, okay, yeah, no, this is like looking like almost like I guess this is what I'm trying to say, is that it kind of looks like it might be like based on the actual live action show outside of the head sculpts and stuff, which separates it. So they could probably easily put like the actors, faces on these head sculpts and probably make the same figure. But still, that being said, they look great. And yeah, see how Bullseye kind of looks like a generic G.I. Joe guy kind of here? Not in a bad way, but just like a nondescript Cobra operative. Well, like, that's not a bad thing because I love 6-inch Joe, but I like my Bullseye looking crazy and having the big, bullseye on the forehead. Did that one have it? Yeah, he does too. Okay. But I like that crazy, like, grin. I love that. But these look fantastic. But the thing that sold me on this, and I'm probably going to pick it up, are the weapons, the accessories. They're covered in blood. So you get like a knife. Let me see. Let me go back to the actual box. So if I'm not mistaken, you get some sort of axe, a knife, a bigger knife, a smaller knife, and then a baseball bat, and then some guns, and then a hand with some throwing utensils for Bullseye, and then a spray paint can. So if you are in the need for some accessories that are really cool and that already have blood effects on them, this is going to be a huge get for you. So that's really cool. And how much are they wanting for this? $55.99. So yeah, and it goes on pre-order in March. So you got some time to save up. But yeah, it's going to be available in spring of this year. So that's cool. I don't know. I might wait to see if I can get it on clearance, but if I see it on clearance, I'm definitely getting this. But still, I don't know. We'll have to see. Moving on to the Black Widow Quicksilver Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers set. This set looks really cool. I'm not going to lie. It does look sparse considering how much was in the Bullseye and Muse set. This is a little disappointing. And considering that they also have weapons for Black Widow, like just that they've put out, because they put out a bunch of her in the last few years. So she has hands and weapons that they could have easily appropriated from that to bolster up this set. But from what I'm seeing here on Toy Arc, it's looking like the same deal as the Bullseye and Muse set, which is going to be $55.99. And I don't know. This one, if you want this, I'd probably wait and get it from Ross or Ollie's or something. But it looks cool. I like these suits. I think they look fun, and the paint looks really good. And the Black Widow suit, I like it. It's definitely minimal, but I do like it. However, this is going to be a pass for me because I already have these two characters in suits that I'm more familiar with. So this is going to be a pass. All right. Now on to the X-Men 97 stuff with Archangel. Now, I'm a big Archangel fan. I was when I was a kid, and I loved pretty much every figure that they put out, even though they've kind of been rough early on. We have been getting a few of these figures from Marvel Legends in the last 10 years or so that were a lot better and more accurate to what the character looked like without compromising sculpt and all that stuff. So this one looks to be on par with all of that. He looks really cool. I saw someone say that they think this is pretty much the exact same one that we've been getting, but I don't think that it is. I think the wings are more rounded. I haven't done any research yet, but obviously not these wings. But these wings, I think, are more curved, and they just look super cool. So I don't really like them here, but this could be the angle. But then again, I kind of don't hate them here either. I don't know. But I absolutely love this pose. And I don't know. I might have to triple dip on Archangel with this one. And so, yeah, and he comes with the folded up wings, for lack of a better term. So that's cool because like I mentioned earlier with Falcon, I have an issue with characters with wings sometimes, but it's usually the ones where they're attached to the arms. And so this kind of avoids that, but this shot right here looks just so good, and I'm a big fan of that. So yeah, I might try to get him. How much are they asking for him? Oh, there he is. $40. So yeah, that's tough. However, as I'm looking now, it looks like the he might not have my favorite articulation point, which is the butterfly joint on the shoulders, which I'm illustrating how it works if you've never seen it before. And yeah, that might be a deal breaker for me, to be honest. As much as I love the wings, I don't know. I don't know if I could do 40 for that, because that butterfly joint just makes playing with these action figures like so much more fun for me. And so yeah, I don't know, Archangel. We might have to leave you, Warren, but you look cool though. And then lastly, we've got Maximum Series Thor. So I've been kind of like not really messing with this line. They look cool, but like the price is a little too much for me. How much are they wanting for Thor? They're wanting $55.99 for Thor. And so I kind of get what they're going for. I don't really want to encourage it, because then this is just going to give them reason to bump up the price for more figures. And, you know, I remember back in the day when these figures were like $7 and you'd get like Ghost Rider with his chain and his motorcycle and a comic book all in one package. So yeah, I don't know, but I do have to admit that they do look cool, and that there is an improvement in some of the stuff, like the articulation and the sculpt. That's the word I was looking for. And so yeah, that's really neat. I'm a big fan of Thor. I don't read a lot of Thor, but I do like his aesthetic, and I like his hammer, whatever that means. And so yeah, I am pretty I was on the fence about this one a little bit until I saw that it's got a wired cape. And people who've watched me for a while, they know that that's one of my big things, is the wired cape will get me 6 to midnight. So yeah, I am probably going to be looking into picking this up if I can't get it on sale. Or if I could avoid it and then get it on sale, that's what I'll try to do. But like that cape is going to probably make me pull the trigger. And then also Frog or Forg Thor Four. I forget what's the frog's name. Throg. That's it. Throg. I love this. I'm a big fan of packing characters, although I do wish that maybe he was a little bit bigger and like they actually gave him like a legit, like, you know, maybe like just smaller than like Hit Monkey kind of action figure. That'd be really cool. But given that he's a pack in with this, that's fine. That's fine. He's fun and neat to just have on the shelf, I imagine. Some other things that I saw people talk about were the jaw, that they didn't like his jawline and stuff. And I kind of understood what they were saying, in the sense that like it is pretty big and massive, I guess. But like, I don't know, the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm kind of like, okay, I can get by with it. And the neat thing is that he's got different face plates, which you don't see too often in Marvel Legends, because they usually just give you an extra head, which he has here as well. But my understanding is that you can switch out the face plates with both the helmeted head and the helmetless head. And so that's really cool. Plus you get some lightning effects, which is awesome. And then you get some extra hands, and you get Thor's tail. I'm assuming that's what that is. That's probably not what that is. That's probably like some sort of horn, I imagine. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. That yeah, it's not Thor's tail, but who knows? You also get a throne Mjolnir, which is a hard sentence to say, where the fist is at the end of the hammer, on the far bottom left. And you also just get Mjolnir just as it is, and then you get like an extra strap for Mjolnir, which I'm not entirely sure how they're dealing with that, but that's probably just to pose it differently, I imagine. So yeah, but you get a lot of stuff, and that's really cool. But again, that wired bendy cape does it for me every time. So probably gonna be trying to get this more than likely. So yeah, what can you do? All right, well, thanks for joining me, and hope you had fun. And let me know in the comments, which figures are you getting? Are you skipping any? Did I get anything loud and wrong, which I probably did? Either way, just let me know in the comments. And until then, else time.